So I'll start my screen now, and as you can see, you have Pipeliner in front of you. Now, when you download the trial, you probably noticed it contained certain dummy data, unless you chose to download the trial empty to get started with your own information. First of all, if you downloaded it with the dummy data and you would like us to take it out for you, get in contact with me at t.katnig@pipelinersales.com. You also have my contact through the email, the initial email that I sent you. So reach out to me if you want us to take out the dummy data so you can get started with your own information. Now, the trial also contained a standardized sales process. As you can see, the fundamental basic of Pipeliner is based on a sales process. Now, each business differs and every person sells in his own way. So that way, Pipeline enables you to standardize your specific sales process within your organization. Now, that's the first thing I would like to show you how to change this. So, how to change the trial process and turn it into your own. In order to do this, up here, you will find your specific email address. When you click on it, and here's the magic gateway to the back end of the system. Basically, that gives you access to the brain where you can customize and set all kind of specific fields and templates for your specific business. The general information will give you information about your subscription. When I click on sales pipeline, that will open that particular process that we're currently looking at. So that's the funnel step by step as we saw it from left to right in my screen before. And it's very easy to change this up. So either you can now edit each one of those steps, give it a different name, or you can take out those steps. In addition to that, you can create additional steps up here. So you basically give it a name and where does it go into. So insert sales step before, proof, prognose, design, whatever it might be, and insert it in such order. Next part is, if you are not necessarily a single user, if you work in a team, then you have the ability to integrate different kind of sales units. And that could refer to a sales territory, to a vertical approach, or departments or reseller channels, depending on what business you are in. So you can create your own regions, and once those are created, you have the ability to assign users of that trial and later on in your productive system and decide what access and what role does he have for each of one of those sales units. So speaking of departments, verticals, product lines, whatever it is, and that defines clearly what access rights a user has. Now for your trial, importantly, you can invite other users simply by clicking on here. So once again, you go to the tab up here, Pipeliner settings takes you to the backend, you go to users and invite a new user. Up here, you enter his email address and you can decide now this particular user that you're inviting, what does he have access to? And the last part is, I want to stress is that not only the process can be customized, you can also customize the templates itself for your business. So if you're missing specific fields in our templates, or if there are too many fields in there, you can simplify it or adjust it to accounts and to fields and any kind of information that is necessary for you to track when it comes to opportunity management or contact and account management. Okay, so that was a little outlook. You will find all kind of information how to actually perform those steps on our website and under support. So pipelinersales.com/support, you will find many different helpers here. So you have a full-on user guide. You also have it split up into sections and points of interest that you have here for users as well as for admins. So please refer to this if you have any questions. We also have online portals. You can use any of our social media links. You can ask questions there within 24 hours. You will get an answer. And you can also most certainly reach out to me directly to get help if you needed to. Good. So now we are past the admin part of the software. Let's get started with the exciting part, the product itself. The way I'd like to show you Pipeliner is not in order, I'm not trying to sell it to you. Obviously, you already made the decision to start a trial. I want to help you getting started as easily and quickly as possible. So let's focus on the first steps that everyone needs to perform. And those are creating a contact, creating an account, creating an opportunity, or let's start with the lead. So let's look at it from a process perspective. And let's start with an overall approach of creating a new lead and then turning it into an opportunity. The reason why I'm starting with the lead is and not with a contact or account is because the system enables you to create a new contact and a new account while I create a new lead at the same time. So let's start it here, create a new lead. I feel like give it a lead name, could be the company name of the lead, could be whatever you decide would be an entitlement that makes sense for you. So I'll call it, for example, trade show lead Denver. I can also use that instead and say, okay, this was actually a trade show. In my case, I don't have that option, but you can fill out drop downs, whatever makes sense for you. Based on the conversation that I had with this lead, what's my gut feeling right here? So the ranking group symbolizes how likely do you feel like you will close that deal? Obviously, it's hard to say in a lead stage, but give it your gut feeling. Maybe you had some conversation that told you whether it's likely or not. In my case, let's leave it at a 50-50 chance. What's the status? Well, it's a new lead, have not even started on it yet. Now, very important, every lead needs at least one of those. So account and contact. And that means the account is the overall company that the lead works for, and the contact is obviously the person that you met at the trade show. So what I could do is I could, for example, start and create a new account in here. So I create a new account in here, fill out the basic information what I need. In my case, to speed that up a little easier is I'll pick an existing account from the address book, for example. So I go up here and say, you know what, that's Adidas America. That's the information that I have. And the particular person that I'm talking to, I can now create a new contact with them. So I'll bring out, this is John Williams, mail, and so on and so forth, and not all necessary. I make sure that this person is linked to the account. The reason why it's not automatically linked is the following. It is sometimes the case that John could be a referral partner, and he's actually the person selling to this account. And basically, he's the intermediary. That's why not every contact is necessarily linked to this account or is necessarily an employee. It depends on the constellation of that deal. So I sign a contact, I sign an account. I can put in now different kind of settings. That those are custom fields. You can bring in your own fields in the templates in the backend as we described. When I save it now I will have all the other functionalities available. I can schedule activities with that account. I can write notes with that account, and so on and so forth. So let's assume we're working on this lead now from the trade show from Denver, and I call him and I had a success, and I call him on the phone and we got the message. So I'll put in my notes right here. I post it and I have the note available. Now, during my conversation, I had the ability to qualify this lead. So what I can do is when we go back in here, I can qualify this lead now and turn it into an opportunity. So the difference really from a lead to an opportunity, since customers are asking that as well, I would say the real difference is once you understand if there's a real value, a real dollar behind this deal, then it turns into an opportunity, as well as if there is a specific time frame. Another option would be if you have somebody internally that qualifies leads for you and then passes it on to the sales reps, then you can change the ownership of the lead. So it goes from the qualifier to the sales rep. I can choose my region and it goes on to Ronas, for example. Now that we pass it on to Ronas, what's going to happen is that Ronas, who works on the active deal pipeline, he will find that lead now in his inbox. So up here, there's a little arrow. You have a lead inbox. There would be leads that we passed on to Ronas. So what Ronas can do, he can maybe do an additional qualification for himself, or he simply grabs it and turns it into an opportunity. So we're one of the only system actually in the CRM industry that can drag and drop opportunities simply from one stage to the other. So it's a very cool feature and simply to handle. Now, same case here. If I turn it from a lead to an opportunity, I need to add certain criteria, meaning what's the value and what's the closing date. Those could be estimates in the first phase. Obviously, I might not know exactly the number of the deal value, and I might not know the exact closing dates, but give it your best shot right here, and you can adjust that later on throughout the pipeline. So now that we have an opportunities created, my next job will be I have to maintain those. So we have two ways how to work on opportunities and how to enter information, maintain information, and get organized. So one way would be, let's move on to one of the more mature deals. I have a mouse over. So anytime I scroll over a deal, it will give me kind of a glance of what's going on. And in this case, for example, what's the deal value? How likely the sales rep will think he will close the deal? What's the closing date? Who is the customer? Who is my personal direct contact within this customer if in regards to this deal? What is the upcoming activity, and last message? And everything is linked. So if I jump in here on last message, I'll see exactly what was noted with all the history and so on, so I can prepare myself before I call him. But let's assume we call Kenny, and Kenny, unfortunately, like it is in sales, they don't always have time for us. So in this case, I would have to generate a follow-up call while I'm on the phone with him. I create a new activity. I say, okay, Kenny, since you don't have time, how about Tuesday next week? And he agrees to. So I'll set a reminder and a due date, a task pretty much for Tuesday next week so I don't forget. Put in just fallback or whatever you guys discussed on and save it. So we just created basically a new activity for this opportunity Four Seasons New York, and the system will have a pop-up coming up reminding me that I have to call Kenny. Now, if you're working with Microsoft Outlook, we have a really cool integration, and that also helps you in regards to the activities. So all tasks and appointments that you schedule in Pipeliner will sync back to the task folder as well as to the calendar within Outlook. So you'll be reminded there as well, just in case you wondered. Another option would be to record communication. So let's say I reach Kennedy on the follow-up call, and now we're talking about his specific situation. So I can create a message out of this quick menu directly. While I'm on the phone with him, I'm just gonna type up the report. Kenny is interested. He would like to have a meeting. Great. So I'll post this, I can jump into my activities and schedule a next meeting. That's kind of the process. So that was one way how to really quickly scroll through my pipeline, call people, add notes, maintain activities, and so on. A more detailed way, and that depends a little bit on what business you're in, you could also drill into any of those opportunities. So I'll drill in, and that gives me access to this little more traditional looking look and feel CRM product, right? I have my fields in front of me. In your case, you would have your specific fields that match your profile and your business, since you can customize it. I see the full overview of my contact and who is my account. I can bring in my product mix as well, mark whatever I'm offering in this regards to the deal. So I can run reports later of how much money have we made with what product line. But then let's go through the tabs here, what menu options we have. We had a glance already on the activities since we jumped into it through the quick menu. So in here, in respect to this opportunity, I have my full management. So I have all the activities that are going on, by who, when are they due, are there any activities that are overdue? For example, right this here, stop watching. I can manage activities as I like. So I can filter activities by periods from who as well. So I have a full activity management in here. The feeds is keeping track of all the communication that I have. And that also incorporates activities that are coming from the activity center. So up here with the date and timestamp, I know exactly today, yesterday, last month, upcoming, and so on with the date and timestamp. And now I'll show you something really unique, the buying center. For those of you guys that have not only one contact as a buyer, if you are in a more complex sales environment, you could build now here relationship trees. So Mr. Kennedy seems to be the main decision maker here. However, he has a new assistant or a consultant that he hired, and he is a new person in that constellation. I can go in here and design and look at his competencies, define what this person is capable of, how is his impact on other people. I can build links, and I can also decide what is his role. So I can clearly dive in here and define his relationship to other people in that decision tree, and pretty much decide at the very end, is he a sponsor? Could he be a potential sponsor for me? Or is he somebody that is trying to kick me out of the door? So this is something really valuable when you are in key account manager or management, to understand the people that you're dealing with in regards to this deal. If you don't need this, if you're in a uh, luckily in a more simpler business, you can just take it out and simplify the entire menu within Pipeliner just by taking out information right here. So you adjust, you decide what functionality you would like to look at. Next part is document management. So of course, standard for any CRM system is document management. You should be able to upload order sheets, invoices, information that you sent out, and so on and so forth, and have it all documented in hierarchical order and in timely order in front of you. Notes is a really cool area. If you want to take notes that are private, notes that you want to put down as we talk about a new client, something personal that no one else should read, not even your manager, you have the option to put that in here. If you don't want to use this, just like we had a bit before, then take it out. The history is also a cool feature, especially for management. If you want to see what happened with this deal since a certain period of time, the system will give you a summary of all the actions that have been performed. If the opportunity moved forward in the pipeline, by who, at what time, and so on. Now, this logic, what I've shown you here, is everything related right now to leads and opportunities. So always a deal-related information. Now, when we win a deal, and hopefully it'll be the case, that's the whole idea of this system, is that to win a deal, verifying information and so on and so forth, this new potential lead and then opportunity became an existing customer. Now, there is relationship building and maintenance required for any kind of business that I could think of that is not always related to a particular deal that is in the picture. So, maintenance, account and contact maintenance, and relationship building, that's the area you want to go. So, relations right here. So, it's essentially the address book with all the features that you need for contact and account management. So, you have one tab for accounts, one tab for contacts. So if you want to know who's working for Adidas, multiple ways, you can go up here, you can go into the Adidas folder. You have a full list of all the contacts that are listed under Adidas. You know what the opportunities are that we currently have with Adidas open, deals that we previously won, and deals that we lost. That information is important to also look at the history, because what's the closing ratio? Basically 40 to 13 right now. It gives me a little bit of an idea how likely it is to close, how many of the open projects I might close. I also see what are the sales reps that are selling to Adidas, and that really helps me to understand, might there be some synergies? Might there be a way for Clemens and Charles to work together, even though they're in different territories? So those are insights I can gain through that. Now, just like with the on the lead and on the opportunity level, I have activities, feeds, and documents, and all those tabs that we went through. Same options here, just with the addition that the account always pulls all related activities, no matter if they were built on an opportunity level. As soon as something is linked to that account, I have a centralized activity and feed management. So I can now really centralize everything into one account folder, and that's really handy when you think of customer service. They are interested on what's going on with this account globally, and they don't think in an opportunity level. So that's a full service management ability to understand what is discussed in regards to a particular account and what are the activities from all the sales reps, from all the opportunities that are linked to Adidas America in this case. Same with contacts. You have the same ability with on every level. If they're part of an opportunities, activities, and so on and so forth. Same logic throughout the entire system. So if you understand one template, one opportunity form, you understand also how to create a contact and account. It's all the same logic, really easy to work on. One of the last things I want to go through is, now that we understand how to enter information and also where to find information. However, we scheduled just before 2 activities with that account. Now we know that we refer to this account, but imagine throughout the day you probably scheduling 20 follow-ups, maybe 2 appointments. How do I know when that is all coming up? So where basically is my calendar, and how do I manage those activities? And that's what we built, the centralized communication hub activities. In here, you can now, depending if you're on a manager role or on a sales rep role, you can go into my activities as a sales rep, and I know exactly what is my 2 days to do, basically by due date, depending if there's something scheduled today for you as well. But you also see what is upcoming, as well as what was in the past and was not marked complete. Now this could be different, it could have different reason. Maybe you just simply forgot, so I marked complete, or I truly missed that appointment, so I can follow up on it, open it, the details of it, and follow up and call them, and then mark complete whenever it was truly taken care of. As a manager, however, I can go into my activity center and I will have a full overview of all my sales reps and everything that is scheduled, also by date and time. I can also use the option right here on the filters and circle it in like a specific time frame, by specific rep that I want to look at, maybe only Clemens activities, then I'll have it right in front of me, as well as if I'm particularly interested in a certain type of activity. Maybe I just want to see his appointments. In this case, we don't have any. And also status, what kind of activities am I interested in? Maybe I just want to look at the ones that have not started, want to make sure that he's not forgetting about those. All right. So we covered the address book, a contact and account management, the process from turning a lead into an opportunity. We discussed different ways how to enter information. In the last 5 minutes of this webinar, I would like to give you now the view of the manager. So now that we inputted information, how do I manage my team and how do I get nice reports out of it? Now, to start from a visualization standpoint, as a manager as well as a sales rep, the really cool feature that we have here, which is I find unique, is that I know at any time how well a sales rep is doing, or for the sales rep himself, how well he's doing for himself. So I have a specific time frame of the goal, basically what's my period, my target period, what is the goal, and how does it compare? And we have different target settings. We don't have to go into detail how those are calculated, but keep in mind we have forecasting mechanism. And at the end of the year, obviously, it all comes down to the real target. So what have you actually closed compared to the goal that was set for you? As a manager now, what I can do is, up here we have profiles or views, depending on whichever you like to use. And I could save multiple profiles from reports to individual pipeline views. And in my case, we are in my view. That means my personal deals that I'm working on. Even as a manager, you might have your key accounts that you personally take care of. And now we go into the management mode. I can jump into Paul's pipeline. I see exactly his target with his period and how he compares. I can go into Rick. So I can scroll through my individual sales reps and now understand visually how, if it's a healthy pipeline, enough initial contacts in there or not, and that natural progress and how he compares based on his specific targets. Obviously, if I'm managing a bunch of people, I can also look for it from a divisional standpoint, divisional view. If we have something in here, I'm not sure if we have, okay, no data available based on settings that I've chose. I can also take off, they now have the full access to my division New York. Another part would be, I could now combine all the deals of my entire company into one pipeline as we have it now here. It gets a little messy, but that's good because we are needing this full data set in front of us to now dive into questions. We can say, only show me deals from New York as we have done it before. In addition to this, I want to see what products lines we are selling within New York. And it will shrink it down to whatever you would like to see in here. And all those settings that we have in here visually, if I go to my report settings, they will apply in every management report that we have here. Kind of see progress compared to previous or upcoming periods. Now I have exactly by sales rep sorted based on those macros that we've set before, deals out of New York, deals within a product line, and I have a breakdown of all the won deals that have been performed or deals that are currently still open. So those are management reports that you can easily build on all kind of levels. You choose the parameters, you choose the macros, and you can run reports easily based on settings that you choose. Once you're satisfied with a report, that's the report I want to pull on a weekly, on a monthly level. You just save this as a profile, create a new profile, set this is a report for my New York division. Sorry, a little early this morning. All right, so I have saved it now. So next time, all I have to do is refer to this particular report, or I can jump into new reports, and the system will always update the information in the report based on new information available in the system, whatever changed in the system. I can export those easily into an Excel sheet or a CSV file, print it into a PDF report, whatever I like, and hand it out to my board. This is a great way to share reports, to generate reports, get full access of what's going on at my pipeline and about my company sales. Now, if I want to have a quick view of just KPIs, I can, for example, go into dashboards and I can have a good picture of what's going on. I can refer once again to my previous build settings. How do my corporate numbers perform? How does my sales rep Thomas perform? And I can build multiple tabs of views. So if you're a high-level guy, just look at those numbers and you understand the performance and how it developed. You can easily build it. You have a variety of KPIs available up here, and you just pull the ones that are most interesting to you. For example, the pipeline view, and you know exactly how much money you have in each phase of your pipeline. There's so much more in the system, and not everything is regarding, let's pull it back to my view, not everything is regarding active deals and account management. If you really want to truly understand your business, the last part I want to show you is the archive. The archive is where lost deals end. So if I lose a deal, let's go in here, let's assume that happens, which fortunately does from time to time, and I archive a deal, the system will not just let me lose it. It will ask me, why did you lose that why did you lose that deal? Maybe I lost it because of competition. I can put in a detailed note. I can post this so that people know that I lost this deal. It ends up in the archive, and I know exactly how many deals do I lose in what phase. So I can analyze weaknesses and strength of my process, and also I can break it down on each sales rep again, so I see it by salesperson where he loses it. But the point is, I can run reports and see, okay, what are the main reasons, top 5 reasons why we're losing deals, at least based on what my sales team is communicating to me. And this is really highly valuable market intelligence information. So this was a quick run through, 30 minutes of our product. I hope it helped you a little better to understand what we are doing here, what you can accomplish in Pipeliner. And I invite you to reach out to me at any time. So you have my contact. Once again, my name is Thomas Katnick. I'm responsible for US sales. Reach out to me and I will get you set up as quickly as possible. Thank you very much, and I wish you a pleasant weekend. Bye.